Hello, fellow gardeners and friends. I am glad that you are joining me here in this garden season. I want to talk today about documentation, and that is, what are you journaling? What are you writing down about your garden? Oftentimes, we write very limited information, but I want to say that your garden notes are very important. What should you keep? What should you document? And just to really give you some tips on why it's important. First of all, some of the things that I tend to find important, and what I learned from my father-in-law, who was a true farmer and me just a gardener, but he documented where he planted, when was he expecting to have his first crops, because he relied on his crops for his income. And so documenting when he expected the crops to harvest would determine when he went on vacation, whether or not he had a stand up, or whether he was planning an event that he was going to attend and take products with him. All of those things matter. Now, of course, it's a little bit different now for us, where we can, do some charting and it will automatically calculate. He calculated all of his things by hand. He didn't have a computer, didn't use Excel. I track a lot of my things on Excel. Now, what do I track? Again, I track things like the date that I plant something, the location where I planted it, if I am planting in the ground. And now that I have these planters, like I talked about earlier, I can do less of trying to plant what where. I do still label some things, because like I have a huge planter that I think I shared before, that's a big cinder block planter, and I have a lot of things in it, from broccoli to squash to carrots, zucchini, all of it is in there. And so I did label those so that I would be able to know, because the one thing, if you've planted anything and it starts to come up, you don't know whether it's clover or it's your actual harvest. So you don't want to pull up the wrong thing. So either, if you're not quite sure, let things grow a little bit before you can begin to kind of determine what they are, before you start pulling up thinking that they're weeds. But anyway, documentation will give you some clarity, give you some kind of knowledge of how well you're doing, and you can look back after a year and go, "Wow, I did do this. This is how much I produced. This is how much I pulled out. This is how much I harvest." And so those kinds of things really make a difference. It helps, number one, even if you're talking to a farmer, or a store owner about your soil. What did you put in it? Document what you put in your soil, where you planted it, when. It may make a huge difference. And so while there's a lot of new things that come out every day, tools, watering systems, and new things that we should try, but one thing that I should say we should continue to look at and do, just get a plain old notebook, just like this, just a plain old notebook, and write it down. Keep the pen handy. Journal what you find. It doesn't matter if you journal that it rained and all your plants, got watered by the rain, or you can plant that you can write that the plants got turned over, they burned up in the sun. Again, whatever it is, but journal and keep notes, because you never know in a year or two what you will learn from what you documented, or what you'll have to share. Don't forget to like, subscribe. See you again soon.